Hi guys, Bolt here once again. Today we're gonna have a preview look at the 24th Infantry Division. This is the one of the two new divisions that Eugen will be adding to WARNO, and we're gonna have a kind of a sneak peek at it. Before we get into that, a huge thanks to Ukraine FTW for the win, for becoming the latest patron. You really surprised me with that generosity. I really do appreciate all of you. And if you guys also want to support the channel, literally $1 a month is amazing support. It gets me a cup of coffee and gets content like this flowing, and I really do appreciate each and every single one of you. I really do. So let's get to it. We have the 24th mech. We're gonna go into building a new one basically, and kind of go through it one by one like usual. So with the logistics, we already have an interesting unit. First of all, we have the M35, which we have everywhere. This is not really the interesting one, but we have the M548A2. This is an armored supply truck that has 1250 supplies. That is actually quite substantial, and it will survive, you know, some mortar shells, some light machine gun fire, all that kind of stuff, because it has one armor everywhere. So this could be a really interesting unit to have, and it's a decent speed off-road as well, 59 kilometers per hour versus 54 with wheeled. So not a huge difference, but you know, some of that can make a big difference in the end. And also it has 10 HP compared to 5 on these trucks, so perfect for some frontline duty. And you can get 2 cards of these, so that's pretty nice too. Then we have a Huey supply, 600 supplies on these. Good for just quickly getting up there and resupplying a couple of units. We have a helicopter command, 2 of these for 70 points. We have the a truck command, UAZ, whatever you want to call it. An off-roader, Land Rover, a 4x4 for some quick caps, 80 points. Really good on-road and decent off-road speed actually for, you know, 80 points. You get 3 of them. We have the M577, the trusty old box command, 80 points once again. Armored, 10 HP, so that's pretty nice. We actually now have a Bradley CV, the M2A1 Bradley. 3 front, 3 side armor, 2 rear, 2 top, so actually quite resilient for light artillery and that kind of stuff. And we have an FSB. So the infantry is really where the newest units have been added to. First of all, we have an MP leader. 11-man squad, 11 dudes that have M60s and M14s. But the cool thing about these guys is that there are also military police. They're leader and military police. So first of all, they buff units to a higher veterancy, but also they remove unsteady traits, and they grant suppression regeneration bonus because they're military police. So with the National Guard units that we have here, which have really low veterancy and, you know, all that kind of stuff, all the negative buffs, you're gonna have to use a lot of commands to buff all these guys up. We have MP Patrol, really useful to have as well, 15 points for a 5-man military police unit. You get 12 of them. We have the MP Patrol with the M67, the recoilless gun. We have regular military police. These are big squads, 10-man squads with M60s, M14s, and M16s. I really do feel like this battle group is going to need a lot of military police, preferably 2 cards minimum, and this unit. So you would have to go for something like that. Maybe even more, I don't know. Then we have a couple of machine guns, light machine guns, 7.62. So we have the National Guard version and the regular version. And as you can see, it does affect a couple of things. So the National Guard, first of all, is low veterancy. It has lower accuracy as well, compared to the regular one, which is on the left. The rate of fire is lower, the aiming time is longer, and thus it's kind of a downgraded version of this unit. We also have the regular, of course, and we have a 50 cal squad as well. Then we have National Guard fire team leaders, 90 points for leader. You know, not that bad. You get 3 of them in 1 card, so it could be good for just capping a zone that, you know, and you micro these decently. You don't get RD too much. But the interesting thing about the National Guard units is that they also come with Bradleys. Now the National Guard version Bradleys, the M2 Bradleys cost 55 points, so quite expensive in my opinion. But you get so many of them that you could really just flood the battlefield. We have National Guard Fireteam Laws. As you can see, the accuracy, rate of fire, aiming time is all much lower than the regular versions, if we just compare them. Yeah, it's quite a drastic difference for sure. But the main thing is that they have outdated weapons. First of all, they have the M16A1 with a smaller magazine versus the M16A2 on the left with a larger magazine. They have the M72 Law, which is unchanged. but they have the M60s instead of M249s, so there's also a downgrade in terms of machine gun. So they're more of kind of supplementary units, I think, just to buff the front line, not really to do the fighting. But again, they come in Bradleys, so you can get them in M2 Bradleys. These are also, you know, reserve units. And we also have the Fireteam Dragons, with the base Dragon, not the Dragon 2, compared to the regular guys. But the base Dragon, M60s, but also Bradleys. We have the Fireteam Leader. You get 3 of these guys. You know, 3-man teams. Not really gonna do any frontline duty with these, but they could be useful. We have regular Fireteam Laws. So these are not the National Guard versions, but you get a pretty decent loadout, and once again you can get them in Bradleys. If you upvet them slightly, you can get 6 per card. We have Fireteam ATs that you can bring out in M2A1 Bradleys, by the way, not the base M2 Bradleys, but the M2A1. And the main difference is the... I can't really show it easily here, can I? The main difference really is the weaponry on it. So these guys have the ITO, whereas these guys have the TOW 2. And besides that, the armor on the M2 Bradley is 3322, and here it's 3322 as well. So it's really kind of just them being reserve units and having a weaker ATGM on it. That is the main difference. But yeah, besides that, we have the Fireteam Dragon with the Dragon 2, and you can get them in Bradleys as well. And everything you can get in the M151s. So there isn't really that much option in terms of transports, but you can really just bring out a lot of Bradleys. First of all, or for example, you can get the good units in the trucks, think about it, and then you can just spam cheaper Bradleys by going for National Guard. Or you go the other way around, you get National Guard, you know, in the beginning, but they're gonna get absolutely destroyed, so it might not be cost effective, and then you get the better units later, but that's probably not a good idea. We do have engineers, regular engineers with satchels, and the the M220 or M202 Flash. We also have regular engineer dragons, and these have the same M47 dragon that the National Guard has, I believe. Yep, it's the same one. We have a couple of ATGM squads. We have National Guard TOW units, regular TOW, 16 AP, 40% accuracy, not great. We have the ITOW, 20% or 20 AP and 60% accuracy, and then we have the TOW 2, 25 AP, 65% accuracy. Probably want to go for the ITOW, just to keep it balanced. Last, we have the air rifles, which you can call out in Hueys, and honestly, do that. That's the first thing you should buy. Having some infantry and helicopters that is quite decent with 2 M240 Bravos, that might save you the entire game. If you know, bring out all 4 of these, or all 8 I should say, and just rush them over the front line. If you really can't break through, you know, that might do the trick. In the artillery tab, we have 107mm mortar. Nothing really too special. Quite decent. We have self-propelled mortars, 81 mils, and the 107 mil. And here we have a National Guard artillery. It's an interesting kind of unit that they've added. So we have the regular M109A2 on the left and the National Guard one on the right. Now the big difference is the rate of fire and the aiming time. But besides that, they're also reservists, so they're probably gonna rout faster if they do get countered. But you get 1 more per card, and it's, you know, 20 points cheaper. The price difference isn't really significant, but you do get 1 more per card, and if you micro them decently, you know, that is going to be more shells on the enemy per minute than having only 2 of these. Because the rate of fire, sure, is lower, but the salvo length is the same. Or you are gonna still get 4 shots off, it's just gonna be a bit slower. But if you buy all 3, you know, that'll probably counteract that. And you can get 2 cards of M270, so that is actually quite crazy. If you do something like that, that could be really, really good. So in the tank tab, we have the new truck ITO. This is National Guard as well, so accuracy is quite low. We have the M901 ITV with the ITOs, and we have the M901A3 ITV with TOW 2s. So quite a big jump here in quality, but also a decrease in quantity there. We have the CEV, the trusty old anti-infantry gun. Does that say Top Gun on it? It does say Top Gun on it. We have M1 Abrams Command, M1 IP Abrams Command, we have regular M1 IPs, and we also have the National Guard M1 Abrams. Look at that. Pretty cool camo on this thing though. So if we just compare these, Let's see here. So you have less armor with the National Guard M1 Abrams. Well, with M1 Abrams in general. 2 less front, 1 less side. Rear and top are the same. The cannon, it's the same cannon, but because it's National Guard, lower accuracy when moving and or static. Rate of fire is lower as well, and aiming time is higher. But everything else is pretty much the same. So one thing you would have to do 100% is to have at least a leader next to it. Preferably you would have the MP leader, the military police. Or you want to have a leader next to it and the military police separately to bring it up, you know, to bring it up to at least trained. And not have it be routing from getting, you know, fired at by a machine gun. On the Recon tab, we have National Guard Scouts. These are probably just going to be spammed like no other, especially in 50 cal UAZs. We have regular Scouts, you can bring them in UAZs, the 50 version, the ACAV, which is really fun to use, with the recoilless gun, the 50 and M240, or you can bring them out in Hueys. That's quite a bit of options there. We have snipers, definitely would recommend getting those, and the ACAV for units. Snipers are just really good in this game now. Seems like they're the only ones being able to boink infantry. So then we have the M9, what is this, 81 Fist TV, Fist V, whatever you want to call it. Pretty good recon unit, very good optics, mediocre stealth. And then we have the M150, good optics, mediocre stealth as well, but it has a 50 cal and a tow. I have not really tried it out, but it could be a ton of fun to use these actually. We have the OH-58C Scout, very good optics, just one of the, you know, the basic recon helis that you would have. We also have a Hydra version with rockets, and we have one with Hellfire. Last but not least, we have the M3A1 Bradley, same armor stats as the other the Bradleys in the infantry tab as transports, but this guy has tow 2s obviously, and it's very good optics, mediocre stealth. You can get 2 of them. You can crap out Bradleys if you want with this battle group, so that's something. In this AA tab, we have base National Guard Stingers with the Stinger B, I believe. You know, quite poor accuracy. It's quite similar to the Fliegerfaust in terms of how well it would do, I guess. But yeah, it's I don't know, man. 30 points. I don't know if it's gonna be cost effective. And then we have the basic Stinger with the Stinger C's, good accuracy, 60%. Just decent manpens to have. PVADs, already in the game for quite some time, Spags or self-propelled. What is it called again? SPAG, self-propelled anti-air gun. That's what we're gonna call it, self-propelled anti-air gun. You get 8 of them, 2 cards. We have the OH-58C with Stingers, and we have Chaparrals. You can get a lot of Chaparrals actually. If you upvet and, you know, get something like this, that's an insane, pretty, well, not insane, but pretty good anti-air tab. In the heli section, we can get 4 Cobras, base Cobras with rockets only. We can get tow Cobras, 4 of those, with ITOs and rockets, and we have 2 cards of Apaches. You can get, well, 1 card of Apache, but you can get 2 with 1 card. So that's pretty decent. But this is the National Guard version once again, so it's gonna get routed pretty quickly when it does get fired at, and the accuracy is quite poor. So I'm not quite sure about that one. But yeah, National Guard, it seems like an interesting thing to have in the game. I think it's going to be quite a defensive battle group, but we'll have to wait and see. So in the air tab, we have Eagles. Can't go wrong with those. Now we have the Strike Eagles. These are new units that they added, and it has the GBU-10, the same as the F-111 laser guided bomber, but now you have 40% ECM. So that's actually really good. That is quite nuts actually. We have the F-111C cluster with the 8 cluster bombs, 10 penetration on these. Really fast planes, decent ECM as well. We have the Wild Weasel seed plane, 40% ECM. Not too bad of a, you know, anti-radiation missile, but it's the only one you can get. We have the Phantom 2, quite a decent plane to have. It's not the best once again, but it's great to supplement your F-15s with. We have the F4 Phantom Bomber, and we have the F4 Phantom Napalmer. So the main difference between the F-15C Eagle in terms of weaponry, the Vulcan is the same. It has the same AIM-7M Sparrows, but the Sidewinders are different. So the Eagle has the AIM-9Ms, while the Phantom has the AIM-9Js. AIM-9Ms do more damage, 1 more damage, better range on aircraft, better accuracy, and also, let me see, yeah, the rate of fire is slightly higher as well, but that could just be the veterancy of the Eagle. We just go for that. Yeah, that balances out. But yeah, it's mainly the damage, range, and accuracy, so the Phantom is actually not too bad. But yeah, so my thoughts on this battle group, it's an interesting one. It's really not great, but I kind of build it like this. There won't be a code of this yet on my Google Docs on Discord, you know, until the update is actually out there. But this is probably the first version of it that I would test out. So I have a lot of National Guard M1 Abrams, and I have a lot of tank commands, so I would just play defensive with these guys, get all of these tank commands to just buff them up, and we have Military Police Leader and Military Police Patrol, just to scatter all across the front line, and have both the Military Police buff and the Leader buff on the same units, to hopefully, you know, bring them up to a decent quality. But this is how I would, you know, at least try it out. We went for both Strike Eagles. You can get 2 Strike Eagles. It's on Elite, so the Laser Guided Bombers actually have like 100% accuracy, which is quite insane. 99, so it is gonna hit. It's guaranteed to hit, basically. So that's gonna be fun. But yeah, we'll just have to wait and see, and after this update, they'll probably do a lot of balancing as well, because the 27th just seems absolutely crazy with the amount of Tors, Strela 10M3s you can get, Acacias with, you know, laser accuracy, the BMP2 Ds and the 2 AGs, and the, you know, amount of T80 BVs and everything you can get. So it's gonna be fun to try out, and yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this one, and if you did, let me know down in the comments. Don't forget to check out Patreon if you want to support the channel even more, and I'll see you guys back soon. Take care.